Hi guys, it's Kristen and welcome back. Today I'm going to go over my 10th week of pregnancy. Accurately this week, it is actually my 10th week that I will be going over. So we'll just start off where we left off. I was going to a doctor's appointment that Friday, and I went to the doctor that Friday, and basically it was my first OB checkup, and they weighed me and went over my blood work with me, and they did like my first real ultrasound. I mean, I'd already had a viability scan, but this was like my first official kind of OB ultrasound. And so we got to see the little the little tiny nugget in there, and it was like really awesome. The baby was like dancing around. It was hilarious. I mean, the hands and feet were going, and it was like so super duper cute. So everything with like my blood work was normal or negative or whatever, I don't have any kind of funny things or anything going on down there. And so everything was good. And then let's see, what else did they tell me? Basically they told me that, they did find group B in my urine. Now I am a carrier for that. I've had it in both of my pregnancies. Sorry, I'm like out of breath. So yeah, I've had it. So they told me that they're not gonna like test me or swab me at 36 weeks. They're just gonna go ahead and treat me because the likelihood is that I'm still gonna be a carrier for it. I can ask at 36 weeks to be retested, which I probably will. I don't want antibiotics if I don't have to have them, and I also don't want to have to be in the hospital for 3 days if I don't have to. So that's been the only thing with like your first baby. It's kind of like nice because instead of being in and out in like 24 hours, they make you stay for 3 days, and it's like you don't know what to do. You got your new baby, but like when you're ready to get out of the hospital, like with Declan, I was ready to get the heck out of the hospital, and those days were just dragging. I mean, it was like so long. So I'm probably gonna ask to be retested at 36 weeks just so I'm not stuck in there. It really has more to do with the fact that I don't want to be stuck in the hospital for 3 days if I don't have to be. But anyway, it's kind of like your get into labor and delivery free ticket. Instead of them telling me like go home and take a Tylenol or go home or stay at home, get in the bathtub if I have to get on antibiotics. So they usually tell you to come on in, which is what's happened in my last 2 pregnancies. As soon as I went into labor, I had to go into the hospital. So anyway, let's see what else. They weighed me. I weighed 2 pounds more than what I did at the 7-week checkup, but I actually lost that like 2 days later. So I have been like super, super thirsty. And I think that I just had drank so much water that morning and the night before that it was just water weight, because then it was like gone in the next day or so. And that's been like, I have been really, really, really thirsty and drinking like a ton of water. Every night before I go to bed, like I have to put water by my bed, and I'm drinking like, I don't know, like 8-ounce glasses of water a day. It's something ridiculous. I mean, not ridiculous, like you're supposed to drink that, but it's way more water than I would normally want to consume, and I'm just like wanting to drink more water than I would ever want to drink. So anyway, they adjusted my due date. She told me that I was actually, when I thought I was like 10 weeks and like 2 or 3 days, she told me I was only 10 weeks. So I will actually be turning a new week on Friday as opposed to on Wednesday. So that's okay. I'm not going to argue about 2 days. My babies are going to come when they want to come, or babies. I made that sound like there was more than one in there. My baby is going to come when he wants to come. Anyway, I did not pay much attention to the heart rate, which I didn't even think about until after I got home. The heart rate was healthy and it was good, but I really didn't like pay attention to like the beats per minute. I think my husband knew what it was, but I didn't ask because I'm still kind of holding out hope that it will be a girl, even though I'm 98% sure that it will be a boy, because most of the men that have been born, most of the babies that have been born from the men in my husband's family are all boys. It's like they don't produce girls. His grandfather did have 2 daughters, but all of the other men that have come directly from his line are all men. They all had boys. So I just don't see myself having a little girl, even though I would love to have a little girl. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't really pay attention to the beats per minute or anything like that. I've been kind of cramping on and off again this week, which I know is totally normal. I had 2 really awesome days this week where I was like feeling like an absolute rock star. And then I had 2, I'm looking down because I'm looking at my monitor, if that's what you're wondering what I'm doing. And then I had 2 days where I felt like death. Like I did not want to move. I did not want to get out of bed. And then the rest of the days this week were like really normal. I was just kind of like in the morning and kind of at night. But for the rest of the day, like I felt pretty good. I have been getting like the whole like shortness of breath thing, which is pretty typical for me. I tend to get that right in the beginning of my pregnancies, and it lasts all the way through. And pretty much it's just what I mean. Like if I talk too much or if I'm talking when I'm going up the stairs and stuff, like I get shortness of breath. And it has nothing to do with anything really, because I'm pretty in shape. I go to the gym, you know, when I'm, you know, I exercise and stuff like that. So it really doesn't have anything to do with that. It's just like a symptom of pregnancy. My skin is still really, really, really itchy, and I don't like, I found a couple of things that I've been using that have really helped, which I'm going to show in a current loves video coming up. This week was kind of sedentary, and I mean, it was just kind of boring. You know, it wasn't really a lot happening this week. I mean, I did get to go to the doctor and see the baby, and that was super awesome. And if I'm not inserting a picture of the ultrasound at some point through this video, there's a blog post below which will show you guys the updated ultrasound picture. And then I did put an ultrasound picture in the last blog post as well too, and that was like the 7-week ultrasound. So you'll be able to see that as well. But this was 10 weeks. So that was a pretty cool looking ultrasound because the baby actually looked like a baby and not like some sort of a animal with like a tail or something. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, honestly, we're not going back to the doctor until 16 weeks. At that point, there are blood tests and stuff like that that they do, which is routine. They do it to everybody. We are not getting like the nucleal translucency test. We had that done with my second pregnancy. With my last pregnancy, we had a lot of trouble conceiving, and we had taken some fertility stuff, so they gave us a bunch of extra kind of testing in the last pregnancy, but they said there's no reason for us to do it this time, so we're not going to do it this time. We are just going to wait until like the 16 weeks, and when we have to do all the tests anyway. I'm not a carrier for cystic fibrosis, and pretty much everything else was normal. So yeah, everything was great this week. It was just kind of, like I said, boring, and I'm already a little past 11 weeks, so I'm excited to film my 11-week video. But yeah, so anyway, I am so glad that you guys are watching. I'm gonna get better at this. I'm gonna start taking notes so I know what I want to tell you guys like from the very beginning. And that is it, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.